Alright, hey guys, it is me, Umbra, doing the third reincarnation video in a row. Gonna have a little bit of pieces of detail to talk about that have been revealed since yesterday evening, including banners, which I think some people will find interesting to see what kind of things are already going to be happening with some of the reincarnation system material. However, there have been a few comments in the last under 24 hours since those videos have gone live. And obviously there are some misconceptions and some stuff to do with reincarnation system that I'm just going to address at the beginning of this video. And I'm probably missing some stuff, so apologies, I guess, early. How very Canadian of me. First off, stats are not infinite. Some people have been saying, hey, you can infinitely increase stats, so how is this not bullshit? It's not. If you go back and look at those videos on the right-hand side, you can see the theoretical max of what Mont can get. So for people who were thinking that it's an infinite stat, it's absolutely not. You're wrong, and you need to correct that and not say that in the community. Next is... I think some people are starting to panic a little bit about the reincarnation system, and it's starting to feel a little bit to me like the trust rune system. Don't advertise to me right now, game. The trust rune system is, of course, this, building a whole bunch of runes to use on various pieces of equipment. And keep in mind, some globalers might think, wow, Umbra, you have so many of them. And actually, I mean, this is over an entire year for me. And this is all I've made. And I've actually had good success. I think that the negative reaction to these is, a little bit too strong usually upon initial release. Now, here's the thing. For anybody who says Umbra is being an apologist or whatever, I'm one of the first people who usually in the community has a dissenting voice on anything that I feel is unfair, crappy, or just poorly designed. Like, there are plenty of things that I am outspoken about and hate, and honestly, the way to think about right now, especially for globalers who this system isn't even coming out yet, and JP will probably give the game a whole bunch of feedback and the system will probably change even by the time it gets to global. It's just not worth getting angry about yet or freaking out, because we've only had some theoretical, very brief looks at the actual what the mechanics will be and how impactful they will be. Because honestly, the reincarnation system isn't going to make any kind of difference in PvE content, which, yes, the game could use more PvE content, but honestly, the reincarnation system is just going to make old content and current content easy. Usually when we see these power creep systems where they go up, they're not required for PvE for at least 3 months, which is a decent time for most people to start getting some characters ready. So yeah, for people who are complaining about that, I mean, yes, you should be cautious, but you shouldn't be outright negative. Because if that's going to be the case, well, every time they reveal a system, I mean, these systems are designed to give new things to try to achieve, and also just give people stuff to do. Because if there's nothing to do, none of you are going to play this game anymore. So I don't know what to tell you. If you're just looking for something to hate on, whatever. But until we have more concrete data about how this system actually performs, I just don't think it's worth as getting angry as some people seem to be. My message is basically chill out, guys. I'll tell you next week if it's just the most awful system, and we'll see how it changes and evolves, in the first couple months on JP, which is more than enough to get some changes potentially going for global too, or at least for globalers to plan and react. I mean, chill out. Last thing, I have seen, and this is something that I have just been poking around different communities, I've seen estimations from people about exactly how much resources this is going to cost. And here's the thing. There have been wildly different estimations from different people based on potentially 2 sets of numbers and without enough data to make anything concrete. I know that someone in my guild crunched the numbers based on a progressive scale of how he saw the stats increasing and said that reincarnation system would have to happen for a single character 90 to 100 times potentially, which is it just doesn't compute that even they would think that that kind of system is good enough. But again, we'll have to wait and see how quickly resources are spent out and how fast it is even potentially. And this is the thing. We've only seen 2 indications. We basically have 2 sets of numbers to go off of. The stream numbers, which showed Mont getting essentially like +3 or +4 permanent stats over a single reincarnation, and the in-game notification, which shows a Mont having been reincarnated from time number 7 to time number 8. And here's the thing. If these images are indicative of reincarnation 7 to reincarnation 8, you can see that it's much more than just +4 stats, which makes me think that there is a kind of snowballing or not maybe necessarily exponential effect, but I'd say that I've seen some more reasonable estimations from people being roughly about maybe 30 times, but even that still feels pretty high. Long story short, I think that there is a wide variety of people throwing numbers out there, crunching numbers based on what they see between this stat and the other thing, and it's still probably too early. Again, don't hate on it yet, be cautious about it, and we'll see next week once we start doing it on the JP side, and then we'll start hating it if it is worthy. But honestly, it might not be that bad of a system. I still think that if most people just aim for potentially getting a character into the reincarnation system and immediately up to EX level 20, which is very achievable, and not reincarnating them, that's probably just a good enough boost to just be usable. And honestly, the only place where most of these stats are going to make a difference is in PvP sections and incredibly high level PvP, because this system is just too expensive upon initial observations. So yes, I guess just to conclude the overall warning section, I don't think that it's worth getting angry about quite yet. At least not about some of the stuff that we've shown off. Now, as for banners that are of note for the first week of the JP anniversary, a 10 UR pull with a one-time reroll. Interestingly, there's no vision card one for this. Maybe the vision card one is going to come the following week with Dark Ifrit, but I'm kind of sad. This even just isn't that amazing, some of the ones we've seen in the past where it's had multiple rerolls. So kind of feeling a little bit chintzy. This is something you can definitely hate on. Next up, we are seeing a little bit of a change to the unit orbs. Now, as you can see here, basically UR orbs in 40 packets and a 10 pull with a 3 step up. But what you'll notice down here at the bottom is the number of scrolls that are given out. So we'll see 40, 120, and 160. Now, that's a hefty amount. That's right there is, let's just quickly do the math, 320, enough for 16 reincarnations, which is a fairly high amount of these scrolls to be gotten, and does support the idea that we are going to be doing this a fair amount for each character. Now, with that being said, again, I would like to advise caution about spreading any misinformation or saying that this is the end of Wotv, because probably not. But again, we should be looking at this as, possibly a warning sign. I just want to make sure, yes, this is a paid lapis step up. So for basically 4,333 lapis, your paid lapis, sorry, you are looking at about 320 scrolls, which is a considerable amount for any whale potentially looking to upgrade Sephiroth, for example. Next up, just taking a look, there's also a vision card version. Now, the vision card version, interestingly, is not paid. It is UR and vision cards, 5 of each. But this one is not paid, and I'm just double checking really quickly to make sure that there's nothing in here that I missed. So for about 4,000 lapis, you're getting about 80. So looking at the the comparison of versus how much you're getting, does seem that banners will be a potential extra source of these. Now the only question left is how much we will actually get in game every month, but more news on that. As for AERITH banners, nothing really too much special here. Basically the same type of 100 cost unit banners. They haven't gotten any better, but they haven't gotten any worse. And, well, actually on the JP side in the last year, we have seen them start to come with more unit shards, which is, at least a bit more of a benefit, and some extra 80 orbs, which will potentially help you get her into EX and beyond. As for Sephiroth, the story is basically the same, with a little bit of a difference in the fact that we have a vision card banner as well. There doesn't seem to be anything on the new character side to potentially get you scrolls, which is also curious, but it will be interesting to see whether or not the shop is going to have anything potentially for people to get. For instance, if you have like the medals from the banner, and maybe you can get some scrolls that way from now on. But either way, Sephiroth and AERITH both having a pity, which is to be expected. JP will also be having the Powerball Lotto with some potentially fantastic rewards, although more than likely everyone's just going to bottom out and nobody's going to win any of this. The good stuff. So there you go. Now, here is another point of interest, is the fact of our daily lapis purchase potential. Here you can see we got some different ways of getting paid lapis. Some of the bundles have changed a little bit for JP. Here's your standard awakening one, but if we scroll down, we're going to see a brand new one here. This is a awakening pack of the next level, so 5,000 paid lapis, a UR horn, 10 UR orbs, 5 rainbow thoughts, 60 awakening, which really going to give people a little bit more of those. That should be a little bit higher, and 60 of these. So purchasing lapis now does come with the potential of actually getting these. You can only do this 3 times, however, and then you can turn around and use that paid lapis on the paid shard banner to potentially also get some more of these scrolls to improve certain characters. As for other things of note, you can see we have some different bundles here. This bundle, interestingly enough, just not really having any horns or scrolls or any of the awakening materials. So we'll take a look at shop once that is out. There's also going to be a 7 lapis, paid lapis shop, as well as the special for intergrade. But we can see already 3rd anniversary DX shop is going to have some horns by the looks of it. And there's also a shop that looks to do with some potentially even the flowers to use to get some scrolls too. And of course the regular shops for Sephiroth and AERITH. So there you go. Again, to close out this video, I would like to say that we should all be cautious about what the future of Wotv will hold. If this system is really bad, it's going to be bad for the game's health and the player base. And absolutely, that's what people should do. They should not buy into just ignoring the sunk cost fallacy and just like continue to play if the devs are going to be this treating people this bad. However, if the reincarnation system is just, you know, fair-ish and just really not going to affect most people, kind of in the same way that I feel like the Trust Mastery Stone system has been, then I don't think that there's too much to worry, to be honest. But again, we will see the following week. I will give you an honest impression once it is out and once I have a character. And so here's the thing, dear viewer, you made it to the end of this video. And as such, I will give you a bit of a reward. In the comment section below, please vote which of the Final Fantasy VII Remake characters should I take into the reincarnation system first. Cloud, Tifa, AERITH, or Barret. I actually have them all at 120. So the YouTube comment section will be the one to decide who this will go for. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and see you in roughly about 24 hours for a live stream. And just going to give a bit of a, we're going to be playing a certain strategy game tomorrow while waiting for Wotv to come back online. See you then. Wait, hold on. See you then. There we go. Much better.